Alright, so Hoda Studio decided that with 1.1 we're going to be getting our first major collab for Neverness to Everness. The Porsche Collab is coming soon, and yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about that. In our awesome urban open world supernatural gacha RPG, what would be a cooler flex than driving around in a Porsche? And while I think the Porsche itself, as well as the Esper Zero main character skin, are pretty awesome, I'm not so sure how I'm feeling about these banners, and I am going to share my opinion with you guys and hopefully help you to decide whether or not pulling on this vehicle slash skin banner is worth it for you. Now we could quickly end this video for you. If you don't like the Porsche or you don't really care about the skin, cool, it's not for you. But if you want to hear my opinion, you could stick around and see what I've got to say. Now, there's two major schools of thought that have been circulating all over YouTube and Reddit and different Discords and everything. There's like the outrage perspective of people who are being really critical of this event, and they're mad. Non-gacha players who are playing Neverness to Everness as their first game are probably experiencing a little bit of shock right now. The pure cash equivalent of clearing the banner, it's basically $100, right? So many are arguing that that is insane for a digital cosmetic. And this is coming along with a little bit of anxiety regarding power creep. If the Porsche is statistically outperforming the current top tier vehicle in the game, which is the Pendragon, that goes for like 12 million Fons, we're now looking at a 20 million Fon vehicle. And this is causing people to be upset. Players are obviously worrying that future car collabs could lock like the whole racing meta behind a paywall or big currency sinks. Now, my response to this is we can pay with the in-game currency. My kind of agreement with this is that this collab is coming so soon in the game's life cycle, like we're all broke. No, anybody who's playing virtually free to play is broke, and it is what it is. It's not the worst thing in the world. You guys are doing great. Keep pinching them pennies slash Fons. And so while I would argue we have the opportunity to earn the Porsche in-game, the fact that it is time gated means that either we pony up our wallets or we just try and get lucky. Like having 20 million Fons would mean that you've basically spent nothing in the last month and you're going to spend nothing in the month going forward. It kind of does feel like they're trying to pull some money from us. But my argument with that is that these games are free to play. They've got to make money. Yes, they already make a lot of money. I can't sound like a complete shill, but not everything is going to be handed to us. We have to earn it. So I wish that the Porsche collab in this banner form was done a little bit later. Like maybe announce the way that they're going to be monetizing it, and then have it be in 1.2. Then people would have a whole nother patch cycle to decide whether or not it's something that they want to invest in. But that's just my opinion. I understand that these games are kind of built on FOMO, and if you only have a limited amount of time and you're not able to earn all those Fons, turns out you're going to have to drop $30, $50, $100 to get what you want. But yeah, aside from the outrage perspective, you've kind of got the perspective that I just gave, the more defensive perspective, that with Neverness to Everness's Tycoon system, it would make sense that the next high-end car would cost more than the current high-end car, the Pendragon, and a standard character skin costs like 3 million Fons right now. I personally think that this Esper Zero skin looks pretty good, maybe even worth more than 3 million Fons. So if we consider the Porsche to be like a 15 million Fon car and the skin to be an at least 3, 4, 5 million Fon skin, then it kind of makes sense that this whole banner would cost around 20 million Fons. My only problem would be the time span in which we have to get it and the amount of time we've had to save up before we knew what it was looking like. So while the biggest praise is that it is a farmable like banner or whatever, my biggest problem with it is that they haven't given us that long to like start growing our crops to actually farm the Fons that we need. Like I'm gonna need like a dozen more cafes before I can afford this. So while I'm doing my best to be non-biased, because we're not talking about Lacrimosa and how expensive her skins are, they look great and I'm gonna buy them all. But while I'm being non-biased, I'm trying to show both sides here and show that there are people who feel like we are being front-loaded and we're not given enough time, and yay, we can farm it, but we don't have time. And there are people who are like being overly positive. Let's try and be realistic, like all together here when we break this stuff down, because it does cost a lot of in-game currency or Fons. We could justify its price, but let's try and be logical about what we're doing with our currency and whether or not it's worth it. Quick interruption, if you're enjoying this Neverness to Everness content, a like and a subscription would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to hit 10k so I could get a Lacrimosa tattoo. That'd be cool. Now the quick and easy, the total cost in Annulith for the Porsche and the outfit guaranteed all 15 pools is just under 13,000 Annulith, 12,980 to be exact. And the total Fons cost is just under 20 million Fons. So really quickly hopping in here, never mind the fact that I've already spent on the top ups. If you need 13k Annulith and you haven't bought the whole double up, top up, whatever for Rift Crystals, you could drop $100 for this Porsche. Like, it's going to cost you roughly $100. If you've already paid for this, you're looking at over $150 in Annulith, depending on the whole top up thing. It's a lot. It's a lot of money for a in-game car and an in-game skin. Do they look pretty cool? Yes. But if we're just taking a look at you fully diving into the banner, what you're going to get is a car, a Porsche. It's really cool. You're going to get a character skin that looks pretty good. Yes, I will give it that. And then you're going to get some smaller rewards. You're going to get roughly 600k Fons back. You're going to get a avatar frame, some gifts, some bond gifts for your characters, and some other small resources, which not the greatest rewards. If you're looking at this whole package as like a $100 package, then that's what you're looking at getting. However, if we start to take into account Fons, I know most of us are broke, but 20 million Fons is a lot of Fons. We currently get roughly 7.5 million Fons per month. With this little double fawn event we're going to have, we could throw in another million safely. So we'll still be getting like just around 10 million Fons by the time the patch is over. So even if you go into this patch with like 5 to 10 mil saved, you're going to have to wait until close to the end of the patch to reach full pity on this banner and get the skin and the car. Now, I just want to be realistic with you guys. Early on in the banner, things start off cheap. We're looking at 50k Fons, 80k Fons, 100k Fons. It's not that bad. It's once we get towards double digits that things start to get really expensive. And as we continue to pool, the rewards are going to get better, but the cost is going up exponentially. As you all may know, you have to get to at least the 6th pool to have a chance at pulling the car. So the first 5 pools, you do have a chance at getting the outfit. It's under 1%, but you still have a chance. Your chance to hit the car, however, it doesn't hit 1% until you're already on the 11th pool. And the 11th pool costs 2 million Fons or 1,400 Annulith. So almost a whole 10 pools worth of Annulith, which is like, that's expensive. The 12th pool then costs 1,600 Annulith or 2.5 million Fons. This is the point where things start to get a little bit more balanced. You're looking at 4% odds for the car or 11% odds for the skin. So you're already pretty heavily invested by this point and you're probably going to go all the way. But the whole point that I'm trying to make here is that the cost is there. It is expensive. And if you're free to play, you really have to take a look at the cost for this vehicle and for this skin. Whether you're splitting the cost between Fons and Annulith, I really want you to look at how much you have saved up right now and then account for maybe another 10 mil over the next month, the next 5 weeks, because that's how much you're going to have to work with in order to unlock this before the event is over in 1.1. Unfortunately, this doesn't look like it's going to be a permanent event, so we're not going to be able to slowly build up pity on this and wait till we're swimming in Fons to be able to buy it outright. So you need to make sure that if you're going to invest in this, you're going to go all the way. It's expensive, and if you're free to play and you're really wanting to invest in this, please realize that it is going to cost a lot. It's going to cost you like a whole character's worth of Annulith if you were to pull for a character and have to go to hard pity. So if you do plan on investing this, make sure that you're able to afford getting to the end so you can like get the reward that you really want. And hey, if you get the skin or the car early, maybe just settle for that because it gets exponentially more expensive. You're like sacrificing almost the whole next patches and maybe half of another patch's worth of Annulith. Even if you're splitting the cost, like it's so expensive. So just be careful, take that into account, look at the chart, please. If you're spending money, I'm talking to my dolphins and whales here. Remember that you can spend Fons and Annulith. If you take a look at those charts and you see the Fawn to Annulith ratio starts to become a gap, plug it into AI, have the AI tell you the breakdown. I'm not going to sit here and do math for you. However, take into account that you can go in here. I'm not going to teach whales how to be whales, but somebody might get useful information out of this. You can go in here and buy these Fons. If you're going to use Fons for some of the pools, even if you're just straight up buying Annulith for the pools, buy these Fons because these Fons are going to help level up your Tycoon level so you get like a little bit of progression out of it. It's a small tip for the whales out there. You could take advantage of that, I guess. I mean, if you're pulling on this, you don't really care where you're putting your money. If you're free to play, you're really investing a lot of your currency into this, so please take that into account. It's just like a word of warning. It's just a little rant. The skin looks really cool, the car looks really cool, but it may not be worth it right now. Maybe in the future. As far as I know, we're going to have access to 3 other Porsches, so those probably aren't going to come in the same form that this one did. We might get one that you could just buy outright for 30 or 40 bucks. Which may be more value to you than spending all of your currency. I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it. I'm speculating. G1's dumping her wine on the ground. I don't know what's happening right now. But yeah, I'm just really excited about patch 1.1 coming. It's coming soon. We're almost there. We almost get more content. Speaking of which, if you've been enjoying the Neverness Taverness content, a like would be greatly appreciated. We're going live release night at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So as soon as the patch is live, we'll be live. And we're going to be pulling for Lacrimosa. We're going to be trying to A6 her without going bankrupt. If you would like your pulls done live on stream, show up to the stream. We'll also be doing some small giveaways, so maybe show up for that. But yeah, if you've been enjoying the NTE content, please subscribe for future videos, and I hope to see you there. Peace.